right, Brian, one more story for us before we get to questions. Vertex Pharmaceuticals has moved further into gene editing, this time through a deal with Mammoth Biosciences. Mammoth is a privately held biotech that's co-founded by CRISPR gene editing pioneer Jennifer Doudna. So what do you think of this deal by Vertex?
Yeah, Vertex gains access to Mammoth's gene editing tools for two different genetic diseases, which I don't think they named. Mammoth is developing next generation CRISPR systems. So they have smaller Cas enzymes, which are one of the two enzymes that are involved in the CRISPR system. And the idea here is having a smaller enzyme allows it to be put into an adeno-associated virus. So there's a limited amount of space that you can use the AAV viruses, that you can insert genes in there. And those AAVs are used for gene therapy, but you can just as easily put the CRISPR information in there, assuming the enzymes or the genes are small enough. You can put the enzymes in there, and then you can infect the cells with the DNA for those enzymes, and the enzymes get expressed, and then they go and do their work on the genome to edit the genome. And so the idea is having the smaller Cases will allow them to use AAVs to infect the cells and make the genetic changes. Vertex is paying $41 million upfront. That includes an investment in the form of a convertible note, and then there's up to $650 million in potential future payments based on meeting research, development, and commercial milestones. And then Vertex will owe tiered royalties on sales of the drug. So any of the two drugs that would get developed. So I think that, 41 million upfront for access to the technology seems pretty reasonable. But I think it's just another move by Vertex to get further into gene editing. I mean, obviously they have a deal with CRISPR Therapeutics. And I think they did a deal recently with another startup that's working on CRISPR. And then they have now this deal with Mammoth, which is becoming a fairly mammoth-sized private company. So I expect Mammoth will probably end up going public fairly soon, although now they have another $41 million to work with.
Yeah, you don't think this puts any distance between Vertex and CRISPR Therapeutics by Vertex pursuing these other side deals, so to speak, do you?
I think if I was CRISPR or a CRISPR shareholder, I would be worried, except that, within the last year, they went and bought a bigger stake in the I think they had a 60-40 split where they had the smaller amount, and then they bought another 10%. So to get a bigger stake in the drug that they're developing with CRISPR Therapeutics. So I think that if that hadn't happened, I would be more concerned than I am right now. I think that it's probably they're just looking for other options and looking for next generation technologies, and CRISPR Therapeutics doesn't have them. So maybe they're not going to get any more. CRISPR Therapeutics isn't going to get any more deals from Vertex. I think that's a reasonable conclusion from Vertex doing these two deals with other companies, but I don't think they're going to abandon CRISPR Therapeutics anytime in the near future.
I'm totally in line with you on that, Brian. I think Vertex has certainly let its money do the talking by increasing its stake in that partnership with CRISPR Therapeutics. I think the company certainly has confidence in its partner there, but these other smaller companies just have some different twist on CRISPR gene editing. You mentioned the smaller Cas enzyme, so they just have some other things to offer. So to me, I think it makes sense that Vertex is exploring some other opportunities, but it in no way diminishes the company's relationship with CRISPR Therapeutics, I don't think.